I think we have an interesting panel here. So the main title of this discussion is Data-Centric AI, Hype or Reality. So I want to pick that up because there are essentially two types of mindsets right now. Some groups think, okay, this is a new field, is an interesting one, and I'm going to embrace it and start to understand how can I leverage data as an asset. And there's the naysayers that just think, okay, how is this different from the general discovery pipeline that we do in machine learning generally? So how is this different from data preprocessing or something like that? And I wanted to pick your brains a little bit on that. Perhaps, Sahar, you can go first.
Does it work? Yes, it's fine. Okay, so so the question here is the perception of data. That's it, because the difference between people that really see data as technical aspect. That's it. Comparing to those who are really want to extract value from it. This is just to be sure about the question. That's it. The idea. Yeah. Okay. I think that these both aspects can really work together. Technical people and innovation in machine learning and how things are advancing rapidly. This is something that will continue to evolve. But on the other side, there are many aspect of using this innovation in the business. So there's a real discussion that should be done between both of them. And this is why in my presentation I was really focusing on the business aspect, because we can talk about many technical aspects, but at the end, what people see is the use case, the final use case, and how this can help them in their day-to-day life and at the end in the business finally. So things need to be a concrete aspect of usage at the end.
Yes, I think it's about actually adjusting your data to the end case that you are going to have. And Ekaterina, you've mentioned it, so not all synthetic data works great for nearly all applications. Some use cases might require specific details. Would you like to?
Yeah. My thought here, my thought on the data-centric AI is a bit of controversial one.
Sure,
I would say.
That's why we're here.
Well, some people say that data is the most important component of AI development and deployment process. I think that it's very important, no doubt, but there are also other components which are equally important. First of all, you need to have good algorithms to work with this data. And by algorithms, I mean, implementation, frameworks, software, the neural network architectures. Second, you need good people to work with this algorithm. You need people to develop these algorithms. Then you also, for AI to work and to be efficient, you need to optimize your networks. Often, trained neural networks, they are unusable because they cannot react quickly. Think of applications of autonomous driving, where a child runs next to your car. The car needs to stop immediately. And if we do not optimize our network, it's impossible. So here you need another category, like optimization. And then you need to deploy your network somewhere. You need the infrastructure, hardware, and hardware is also another big topic these days. Access to hardware is also a key to your success in developing of AI applications. So having all these components in one, I guess, is the formula of success in developing successful AI applications.
Yeah. I think the data-centric paradigm is just all of that, all of the optimization hardware and having great models also passes a lot on the data side, because if you do have knowledge of your data-specific problems, you can then learn a meta-learning type of way of improving your models, because you can automatically understand how your model will react to that specific problem. what would you say, Sahar, are the main data quality issues that most companies face nowadays?
Yeah, data quality, there's always in each data set some data missing, data which is incorrect. So the idea when I say that data quality is the poor data quality is the enemy number one of machine learning, we should really fix a target of data quality. We cannot fill all the fields. We should look at data quality as a business aspect again. When we say this data is in a good quality or it is in a bad quality in business perspective, what does it mean? This is so we should take the data as a diamond, and we can use a diamond for jewelry, for example. And so for that we need to there are some attributes that can help us to say this diamond is in good quality or not, like for example the cara, the clarity. But if you want to use your diamond for a business industry, for example, to CAD, there is other aspects that are important on the diamond, which is the heat conductivity, for example, and not the cara and the clarity. So it's the same thing for the data. It depends on what you want to do with your data. So not all we can, for some business cases, we can accept that data is missing, but we cannot accept that the coherence of the data with another data is incorrect, for example. It really depends on the final usage, but the 100% correctness of the data is really expensive to put in place. So this is why we should focus on what we will do with the data in terms of business usage, and focus on the parameter that will help us to achieve the business objective using this data.
Okay, and actually data quality also maps out to synthetic data, because it will, maybe we can deconstruct this idea, but synthetic data does not solve every problem in the world. If it is trained in a data-driven way, it will embed the same behavior and the same problems as real data. And that's why we need some type of data distribution, control, and whatnot. Maybe we can dig in a little bit into that. So you were mentioning about unsupervised techniques to make the labeling. Why is it not just an easy way of labeling? And why do we need synthetic data instead?
Yeah, so I would say synthetic data makes data quality much easier. But of course, I also work with real data, and I also know different aspects of real data as well. And there is a scientific evidence that if you increase the quality of the data, the quality of your model also increases. And with real data, if you think about training large language models, which are usually trained on the scale of the whole internet, it's near to impossible of filtering your data so that you really make sure that there is no bias, there is no hurtful content learned by this model. And it also brings us to the need to post-processing. So once you have trained your network, you still need to control it because it's not free of bias. And there are techniques like guardrails you can apply in order to filter hurtful and possibly biased content. With synthetic data, if you train synthetic data, of course, you know what is your distribution, you have the full control, and then you can be sure. But when we also talk about the multimodal techniques, they've been trained also on the scale of the whole internet, and these are still they are kind of unsupervised approaches, but they are still supervised in a certain way. So the CLIP model, which I've mentioned before, which is used for textual guidance of these generators, it's been trained on 400 million images sourced from the internet. With the metadata, as you need the image for the image part, and the metadata also crawled from the internet as a label. So it's they say it's unsupervised, but it's kind of supervised still. And for perception systems, you still need to rely on some kind of supervision because it's really hard to generate it in the unsupervised way.
And would you say it's trustworthy? I mean, we have the issues of bypassing the regulations and the private data and so on. How do you feel companies are approaching the use of synthetic data? Is it easy for them to embrace it, or is there still a little bit of distrust even for working with data?
There is nothing to distrust. However, as I mentioned, there is a learning curve in working with that. So you really need to have good capabilities in order to create, for example, a synthetic data set based on like a render. So you need to have a good rendering system. You need to have also compute to render your images. So it involves some learning. And I guess starting with that is a barrier for many. It's maybe I would say it's another profession, it's another job to create synthetic data.
And you both have worked in the fields like education and healthcare and probably others. How do you see this beyond, for instance, self-driving cars and verticals that are very costly? For instance, healthcare is one of them, and synthetic data and data quality is essential. How do you see this in a landscape where we have regulations in place, where we have the need for very explainable and very interpretable pipelines? How do you see the need to worry about data on one hand and the potential of synthetic data on the other to really transform the way we currently care about that type of asset? Please.
What I can say, one of the advantages of the synthetic data, as it presented now, is that there is no question of anonymization or GDPR, or since the data is synthetic, so it's not related to personal data. So this can solve maybe some of the questioning related ethic and the usage of personal data to generate machine learning models. So this maybe can solve this kind of worry. Many people are really worrying about this and even regulations on that topic. Now, it requires really deeper expertise and more resources, and so there is a need to use it in different domains also, in the domain of education, of banks, and so on. So the data is different, and we need to see to what extent it can be scalable and can be really applicable to different domains. But it seems interesting in terms of regulation and personal data. Yeah.
What are the other verticals NVIDIA is exploring right now with synthetic data?
Well, you mentioned healthcare, and it's actually an area very close to me. I don't work with healthcare at NVIDIA, but I was working a lot with healthcare data in my previous company. And synthetic data has been a big topic in healthcare, and for the same reason of the need of anonymization. And while you're bringing your AI product in healthcare and you want it FDA approved, you want to make sure that the data and the model cannot link you to a specific individual. And there, I know that many people do research in that area in healthcare, for sure.